Markets soaring Friday, rebounding after plummeting earlier in the week over fears that artificial intelligence would torpedo software companies and information industries. Joining me now, Meredith Whitney, Advisory Group CEO, Meredith Whitney. Meredith, great to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure thing. So really ugly week in the market until that big bounce back on Friday. What are the forces that are moving investors and traders right now?
Well, I think Friday's move was probably driven by the fact that most of the action, well, it started off of various, I think we can point to a lot of different things that started at probably Microsoft's earnings, but the fear that AI is going to take over where software has dominated, and whether that's true or not, it caught a lot of funds sideways. And so there's massive delevering that put incredible pressure, downside pressure on the market. And that probably abated. So Thursday, probably most of the selling was done. And you saw a bit of a less downward pressure. So some of the stocks rallied, but they're far from where they were at the beginning of the year or even mid-December. So if you know your names and you're looking for entry points, there's a lot of good opportunity. And then, there's probably still more downside ahead for some of the overvalued names.
Yeah, so sticking to the macro for a second, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you think this is not quite back to the races yet, that we should be worried this could be a foreshock of some more selling pressure?
Well, I think that the biggest selling pressure is from the big market swoons are from delevering, right? So you can see retail say risk off, and Bitcoin sold off, and risk on assets sold off. But really, the big moves in the market are because of, I believe, because of deleveraging, and a lot of the funds just took out baby with the bathwater and took off all their positions. So shorts rallied, longs sold off, and you saw some of the names that have been beat up the most rally. But again, the rallies weren't so extreme. Who knows what next week brings? But I always like to say that for the names that you want to own, put limit orders on, and this is the time you get lucky.
So one of the names that you've identified was interesting to me. It was Champion Homes. And about a month ago, you wrote a long report explaining the dynamics, including some stuff happening in Washington, why you think that's a good place to be right now. Can you explain the case for Champion Homes?
Sure. So Champion Homes is the largest pure play manufactured housing company in the U.S. The largest is Clayton Homes. That's owned by Berkshire Hathaway. That's obviously got a lot of companies under its belt. So the pure play is Champion Homes, ticker SKY. And the reason why I am so bullish on it is because there are two bills, one in the Senate, one in the House, and also the White House is focused on affordable housing. So the Senate's bill is road, and the House bill is housing for the 21st century. The commonality between the Senate and House bill is they both cite manufactured housing as a critical source of lower cost housing as a way for new homeowners to buy homes. And you look at a lot of, and I've done a lot of affordable or sort of manufactured housing tours. These are really nice homes, and they are 50% cheaper than site built homes. And I think that because you're going to have, we're at 100,000 manufactured home shipments annually, with the repeal of some of these outdated laws that require really outdated things, it's estimated that the 100,000 could grow to 500,000. So that's a massive quantum leap that manufactured production could happen, and that would be materially significant. That would be highly significant for Champion Homes earnings. So, all roads point to affordability for the midterm elections, and housing, I think, is going to be at the cornerstone of the affordability debate.
Yeah, and we need a lot more housing, so maybe that's the supplier. We're almost out of time. Real quick, you went to China, you went to the BYD factory. Are those cars impressive? Are they a threat to the rest of the automobile industry around the world?
The cars are incredibly impressive. The cost of production is incredibly impressive. And the threat, I think, from the EV perspective for Europe, which will be so dependent upon EV models, is significant. So they've got plants in Hungary, they've got plants in Brazil, they've got plants in Indonesia. And the key to the BYD story is the international market. And I think that they're going to be the force to contend with on the international EV market. It was I was so lucky to go. It was stunning.
Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. Stay warm, enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll talk soon, Meredith.